background going like this, heartbreak, heartbreak.
That's like choreography, because when we're doing it, we thought that because it's pop music generally tends to have a lot of choreography in it. So, because visuals and...
But then we thought that it might be a bit too light-hearted for the tone, because after all, this guy is upset and he's heartbroken. So we decided to tone down the cheerfulness a bit and stick to like just casual kind of stuff, and him just being depressed and singing in this club. And yeah. While filming, we have to worry about health and safety issues as well. So I've designed this little brainstorm here. For health, I said that make sure the place that where you're filming, such as someone's house for the flashbacks, make sure that the place isn't dusty, as some people may have asthma or dust mite allergy, like me. Also, if any consumables are used, make sure that the people who are eating them, they're not allergic to whatever you're giving them, because that could be quite dangerous. Yeah. Also, I just added don't mess around, because if you mess around and you could injure yourself, that could be quite dangerous as well. For safety, quite a few points. I said if you're working in tight spaces, make sure there's no hazard. Make sure there's no hazard for tripping, because that could result in personal injury. And also use equipment responsibly, and make sure that the filming equipment is used with absolute care, and that the cameras won't be just left lying around and tripods left lying around, because you could step on them or trip over them. Also, if you're filming on a hard, smooth floor, we have to make sure that the floor isn't wet, because then there's a risk of slipping, and that could result in injury or worse, breaking the filming equipment. Also, if we're using electrical equipment such as wiring, we need to handle them carefully, and we need to make sure that there aren't any fluids near them, because that could be quite dangerous. Yeah. We're going to be using Final Cut Pro 7 to edit, and we chose the software because the layering is easy on it, which is useful if you want to make a music video. We also chose the software because it has many video effects and other features such as sound editing and lighting effects. Yeah, just great.
We also contacted the artist, and I thought of the email thing right here, but they said to us that it's fine to use their music video and their track, to create a music video, and they'd like to see our finished product.
Yeah, I will. Obviously you're going to be filming in a club, and it won't be legal unless there's an adult present, and you have someone there with you that's over 18.
I'm 18.
You have to be 18.
Oh, okay.
I'm in EU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you be able to fill up the club if you're going to be hiring it out?
No, we're using the club for the performance, so the band's going to be playing on the dance floor, so it's going to be the main guy and then the band at the back.
Okay, so not actually as if it's on a...
Yeah, it's not like a whole group of people just dancing, just them performing.
Do you need the whole club to hire out to do that?
Not
We just need a colourful dance floor.
Yeah, just like a section of
I hope that you were very specific on what you're looking for when you emailed the...
Yeah, I emailed them, they didn't get back to me. I said we want to see the prices first, because then if not, then it's too much.
Used in one of Michael Jackson's videos.
Sorry?
So,
Is it?
yeah, so I'm just going to warn you.
So I'm just going to warn you about the costing there.
Just like a red flag.
Have you got backup plans in terms of, or at the moment, a lot of your idea around the performance part of it is around this dance floor, this colourful dance floor. If for whatever reason you're unable to get that particular club and that type of dance floor in that club, do you have any alternatives? Have you thought about your backups?
Yeah, we thought sort of like if we can't get a light up dance floor, we could just do it on a normal dance floor, just as long as it's like, it looks a bit like a club.
And have you looked at costings for that and where you'd get that from?
Not exactly.
So you need to do that, don't you? You need to be thinking outside the box, because it might be possible that you don't get to go and film there. You've thought a lot about the hair of the male, of the female protagonists and what they're going to be, what they're going to look like. What about the male?
Yeah, I did that in my storyboard as well. The main singer is just gonna have like kind of spiked gelled hair, just casual. The other guy, the guitarist, is sort of gonna have like long hair sort of going over his eyes, kind of like Justin Bieber, but not exactly like that. Yeah, and yeah, sort of just like over his eyes, like kind of like that. And the drummer, we thought about this, but I don't really know if it fits in. He's gonna have like short little dreadlocks and just tied up like that.
Have you thought about how you're going to achieve that look?
Yeah, just do the hair in it. It's not that hot.
How?
Did you say dreadlocks?
Yeah, like short ones. Like
How are you gonna get it? How are you gonna get dreadlocks?
We can go to a barber and do
So
it.
then you're gonna put a wig of dreadlocks on it.
No, not a wig.
Oh.
We can actually do it like.
Do you have
Dreadlocks.
a person in mind that would be willing to have dreadlocks put in their hair?
Sorry?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
You've shown us in your casting 3 people, okay, 3 men, and you need to tell me who's going to have which type of hair and how you're going to achieve that with their hair. So who's going to have this long hair? Because none of those people that I saw had long hair. And how are you going to achieve
But you can get a wig. It's Halloween
Yeah,
now, so
but-
you're bound to get wigs.
Right, you're saying that to me really haphazardly. You've actually not considered it, have you? No. This is the first time you've actually thought about how you're going to achieve that look, isn't it? You need to really think about the details. I think you've come up with this concept which fits in with the video. I understand why you've gone for this sort of 70s and 80s sort of theme. But I don't think you're really thinking through those details in the level of detail, in the level that you need to. Yeah? You've got to think about how you're going to create that hairstyle. You've got to think about what you're going to do if you don't manage to get FaceTime. I mean, if it's taking you this long to make contact with them via email, have you tried to contact them via phone? If your communication with them is that slow, that is taking you that long, when it actually comes down to it and you haven't got very long left to do your filming, how are you going to communicate with them? You need to pick up the phone and you need to have a conversation. Yeah?
You've only touched specifically on choreography as well, and 70s and 80s, that it's quite a specific type of choreography. I think if you want to go through with that idea, you need to do a little bit more research on the type of dances that you would have, and that they would have to learn that as well, because you want it to be, follow the convention, and it might look a bit silly if they're dancing how you would dance now, but it's set in sort of 70s and 80s.
Just personally, like, I'm not hating on my group or anything, but in the storyboard, I didn't add dancers because I just thought that it looks a bit out of place. Because there's not like a happy song in it. Like, this guy's sad. It's just him and 2 other band members just singing the song and playing that song. So
You're not sure if you do want to dance?
I personally don't. But
that's probably back to cohesion then, is that you need to make sure that as a group your vision's the same. It's really difficult for you to present an idea and a concept to us if you yourself haven't, as a group, really made a decision. Yeah, and that's a conversation you do need to have, because this is right, you need to think about choreography. You need to think, if you are doing choreography, you have to think about rehearsals. You've got to make sure you've done research into the dance moves that are appropriate. I know Ms. Loudon has to go. Did you want to make any comments about
I don't know if the word concerned, or I'm interested in the percentage of performance versus narrative in your music video.
No, I think
Seems
it's
to be very
roughly
narrative-led.
No, mostly, probably, 70% is going to be performance. Because the flashbacks are going to be really quick. It's not going to have any, like, detail. It's just them arguing and then back to the performance. And then another time arguing, just to emphasize that they had a lot of problems.
So it's mostly performance. And that's probably why the girls want dancers in there.
Yeah,
which is why you probably do want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a lot of performance without performance.
something happening?
Well, that's why I said that I included dynamic camera angles and like low angle, high angle, all those kind of editing effects, just to make it interesting.
Okay. Where have you thought about doing your narrative part of the performance? Where is that going to be set?
We have 2 locations. One is outside the club, where they're arguing. The other one is in a bedroom and a living room, which is going to be Mandeep's house. I think that's about it.
And have you thought about how you're going to set that up, what it's going to look like?
Yeah, but for the living room one, they're
just watching TV and just close together. So it looks like they're romantic, but
then
because it's a flashback of them being loving together.
But in terms of the mise en scène, what's in the background, what can I, are you going to be able to achieve that in the person's living room that you've chosen?
There's nothing on my walls. I just got sofas and a TV.
Okay. You need a slightly more detailed approach to your health and safety as well, I think.
What do you mean?
Have a look at a health and safety thing for a film.
Yeah, I did that, but then they gave us all these kind of things, like make sure the local police is aware, make sure the local council is aware. But we're doing A2 though. We're not actually making a proper one.
It is a problem.
You're filming in public, my love. You still need to do that. If you're filming on the high street...
We're not filming on such a grand scale, are we?
But if you're filming on the high street, outside the club in Putney, on the Putney High Street, which is really close to the police station, they probably... You need to be aware of that. You don't need to actually contact them necessarily, but you need to be aware of it. So it's not... It is still it's still film. It's still arrestable offence. Yeah.
The female characters, you've talked about Alice being one of the people that's in it. Who else? Because you mentioned about 3 different dresses there. I was quite confused about. And you talked about dancers, female dancers, but you've only actually shown one person that you've got in terms of your casting. So
we weren't really sure about the dancers. The first issue is me and Maddie, but then we thought because of the white ethnicity, we think we still need to find people that are like up to dance for our music video. So after considering all that, we still have to find 2 female dancers.
Okay, well done, thank you.